Welcome to Music and Anime. I'm your pianist Ab, and in this video I wanted to share with you guys some of the anime records I've come across while looking into adding some into my collection. Now, I'm not new to anime and I'm not new to collecting records, but I am new to adding anime OSTs into my record collection. Before we go down this list, I'm just letting you know that a lot of these, they're already out of print, so they might be hard to find and get or whatever. So if you wanted to add these to your collection, just know that it might be a little difficult, and trust me, I'm also looking. So yeah, there's that. I'm also going to be using Discogs so we can gauge the value of these records now, because they keep record on like their lowest and highest sold. It's also a really good source if you're into collecting records and whatnot. They have an app, which is really good. They provide a lot of images and listings of the records there. And CDs and stuff as well, other media. But here, we're focusing on the records. So, without further ado, let's get into the first one. If you're into your Magical Girl series, you might freak the hell out when you see this one, because it's Madoka Magica. That's right. So Aniplex came out with this back in 2007. It is a beautiful record. You see the art right on the cover of that sleeve, and it is a gorgeous image of Madoka. And when you open, this is a gatefold. So if you aren't familiar with what gatefolds are and you're completely new to this, gatefolds are, they open up and you typically have two records in it. Yeah, so that's that. So the gatefold, it opens up, and when it opens up, you have the full image of Madoka and her hair, and you see the red ribbon also go through. That's really good. If you've seen the series, then you understand what that is and everything. And if you haven't seen it because you're not into the whole Magical Girl thing, put aside everything you think of with the Magical Girl series. This is a great series. It's actually really dark as well. Some pretty dark stuff in it. So in this, you have both the openings and the endings, which is really cool. The records are just black, but that does not take away from how awesome this is, because if you look at the labels on these, you have one pink and disc 2 is that purple. So you have Madoka and Akemi, which is really cool. I like that. I like that quite a bit. Now on the inside of the gatefold, when you open it up, you are presented with all this imagery that really represents like the witches. If you've seen this series, you know that the witches, the art style is very different than your typical animation and whatnot. And this looks a lot like how they do like all the witches and everything, which is really, really cool. So yeah, if you are a fan of Madoka or just a fan of the soundtrack, this is definitely a must-have for sure. And someday I'll have that in my collection. We'll see. Moving to number 2 here, and just so you know, these aren't in any particular order. I just happened to throw these all on a list, and there you go. Made in Abyss, and I'm kicking myself so much over this one. I absolutely love the soundtrack for this one. The first time I've seen this anime, it's just that very first episode, the music, just to quote, I guess, Giguk and the boys over there, hit different. It immediately gave like a cinematic feel to it, which was just like a step up to just what you typically have in an anime. It felt a little more, there was more depth in the music for this one. Oh man. Anyway, Kevin Penkin, the composer for this anime, he actually, in the extras of Made in Abyss, he explains kind of what his thought process was for the music and his approach. He took a small orchestra and placed them in a big music hall to kind of replicate that, space in the abyss, or to kind of replicate the idea of the abyss throughout the music as well. So it really complements very well with the anime. So this soundtrack is one that I absolutely want in my collection, and there's a few pressings for it. These pressings went up on crates. You have the first pressing where both discs are green. You have another pressing where one disc is green and the other one is blue. And the one that came out just this year, again, I'm really kicking myself over it because it was right there just this year, back in March, there was a gray and blue pressing. The green one, which green is my favorite color, so this is the one for me. Like if I'm ever getting one of these, is going to be the green one. Just that's it. I love the art that's on the labels as well. It's the same kind of art that you see in like, the Made in Abyss like map and stuff like that. All right, let's just move on to the next one because I'm feeling depressed. Radwimps, you know them, right? We've all seen Your Name and Weathering with You. Both great movies, by the way. A lot of people said that those movies were almost identical. I've seen them both, and Weathering with You just felt like a very, very different movie from the very beginning. You know, first 15 minutes, I was like, anyway, we're not here to talk about the movie. We're here to talk about the soundtrack. If you know, Shinkai Makoto, the director, the creator of Your Name and Weathering With You, in Your Name, he worked with Rad Wimps to make the pacing of the movie match the music throughout the entire movie. So it's almost like one really long music video. This soundtrack, more so than any of them, while listening to it, would make you feel like you're still going through the movie as well, which is really, really cool. What's not cool is how much this record goes for, because, yeah, again, out of print, all that stuff. There was a limited edition. Beautiful, beautiful art. If you know anything about Shinkai Makoto in any of his films, the sceneries, my God, he has art books. We have an art book here, and he's just gorgeous, gorgeous stuff. But yeah, Rad Wimps did an amazing job with the soundtrack for this movie. And what's awesome about this limited edition, if you don't have one of his art books, this limited edition has an art book in it. So you can look through the art as you're listening to the music, thinking about the characters and what they're going through and the comet and all that stuff. This is definitely a must-have for any anime record collector at that. Weathering With You, there was a limited edition. I don't know if that one also had a book in it. Weathering With You, it doesn't look like has an art book in it as well, but you do see the clouds in it, which is a pretty big part of the movie. There's a pretty major scene. If you've seen the movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. There was an article a while ago where if you saw the theatrical version of Weathering With You, those clouds in that scene were missing from that scene. And in the Blu-ray version that's out now, they've included the clouds in that scene. I'll have an image here showing you the differences in there too. I think the one without the clouds looks terrifying. Like, I'm afraid of heights already, and that is like, give me the clouds, please. Please. Anyway, though, that's one that's on there. Both really good stuff. Rad Wimps, amazing band. So now we are getting into the what I have in my collection territory, and I'm really, really proud to have these because I absolutely love Elfen Lied. If you've seen any of my previous videos, you know that I've talked about these in my Elfen Lied merch video as well as in my mini concert series for Elfen Lied. So I'll link those in the description below. I don't yet know how to include them in the video. If I figure it out, I'll have them here. If not, click the links in the description below. Hi, Ab from the future here. My camera stopped recording at some point and I didn't realize it for a while. So I'm just going to go over the different Elfen Lied records here really quick for you. You have the translucent pink one, which is one of my favorites because it closely resembles Lucy with the pink hair and everything. So there's that one. You have the opaque gold one, which I love even more now because of knowing the whole Gustav Klimt thing and how the director and art director were heavily inspired by him for the opening. I talk about that in my Elfen Lied merch video, so you can check that out. This last one here is actually the first pressing that was part of Tiger Lab's 2019 subscription. Anyway, this last one I'm pretty sure is a picture disc, so yeah, those are the 3 Elfen Lied records that are currently out. Anyway, so yeah, those are Elfen Lied. These other 2 I completely forgot to just mention. There's the Sailor Moon 7-inch box set. It came with 5 records, each with the Sailor Scouts on it. You have Sailor Moon, Sailor Mars, Sailor Mercury, Jupiter, and Venus. And what's really nice about this is the art that's on the sleeves for each record is not only each, Sailor Scout, it's the same art that they used for the manga that was coming out. This got pressed in 2014. Each record has 2 tracks on it that I'm pretty sure closely match up with the Sailor Scout that's on the record. I'll have an image. This is directly from the website, and you can see the different tracks that each record has. So that's one for you Moonies out there. Now this other one I forgot, I can't even believe I forgot it because it's Evangelion. Now I love the art that's on the sleeve here because you have Eva 1 right there, and it's almost like it was sketched right on there, which is really, really nice. It's almost monotone, but you can tell that there's different colors on there. And can we just appreciate that Fly Me to the Moon is in this soundtrack? Like, the arrangement. So those are the records I somehow forgot to put in here. And if you've been enjoying this video so far, give me a thumbs up. When I see that on my end, it makes me feel like I'm actually doing something here. And while you're down there, the subscribe button is not too far. So I'm just saying. Anyway, future Ab is going to finish his coffee. Past Ab's going to show you the rest of the records on the list. So keep on watching. Those are the Elfen Lied records. And if I've gotten closer or farther or whatever, the battery on my camera died and I had to change the battery. So moving on to the next one here on the list, and that is Death Note. There's a couple of different pressings for this one, and you have the, I don't want to say standard version, but the regular gatefold. You have Ryuk's face on the sleeve, and on the inside, when you open it up, you have a really cool image of Light, Yagami, and L on the other side. So yeah, that's awesome. You have a translucent pink. I'll put the other colors here. Now, the other version of this pressing is really cool because it is the actual Death Note. They did 2 pressings for the Death Note version. Well, the actual like notebook. One is like an opaque purple, and another one, which is really cool, one that I absolutely love. I saw it was listed on Tiger Lab, and I also have that right here. I'll put the B-roll here as I'm talking about it and looking through it. This is absolutely cool. Again, you have the cover that it's not it looks like the notebook. It doesn't feel like it. It feels like a regular, sleeve, but you have the notebook look to it, and when you open it up, it is the actual Death Note. You have the rules on the side, on the inside of the sleeve, and then you have actual notebook pages just in it. You flip through it and everything. It's really good. It's multiple pages, so it's just a number of stuff you can do here with that. So if you bring this to a convention, which, remember conventions? Oh my god, it'd be really cool if there's any Death Note actors or artists and stuff in there. This would be a really cool piece to bring to a convention to have them sign or do artwork in or whatever. It'd be really, really cool for that. So that's something that hopefully I'd be able to do. Hopefully, sucks to be in America right now. Yeah, that's at least a neat idea in terms of how to use this, or maybe not, because if they sign their own name in the Death Note, maybe scratch that idea. Anyway, the record itself is really cool because it's black with white bursts, and it is really cool because it actually looks like the opposite. It looks like it's more white than black. At least my record is. Obviously, every pressing is going to look different, but it looks like it's a white record with black ink spilled on it, which is really cool. At least that's the look that I think it has. You can still find the black and white burst. I'll link in the description where it's still listed. I've seen some, it has sold out in some places already, but that's on the market now. So you can pick that up right now. Hopefully, again, I'll put those links. So moving on from Death Note, next here on the list, we have Guilty Crown. I actually haven't seen this series. I have it on Blu-ray. It's in my collection there. Picked up the limited edition on the Rightstuf birthday sale earlier this year. I haven't seen it yet. I hear mixed things about it. Some people say it's really good. Other people say it's really bad. But what else is new? I'm just going to watch it, formulate my own opinions, whatever. This is a 7-inch record. It was also pressed by Aniplex. For that reason, it is stupid expensive, like the Madoka one. So I actually haven't seen any listings for it other than this one on eBay that lists it for $1,000, which is kind of ridiculous. So yeah, I wouldn't jump on that if I were you. The art on it looks really cool. I love just a black and white aesthetic to it. I like how the art on the back side of it is also on the record itself. Yeah, this is a really, really cool little piece. I'll watch the series, and I would probably really, really want this in my collection. But there you go. That's a thing. It exists. If you want to drop $1,000 on that, just do your thing, buddy. Guilty Crown is the last one that I have on my list. In terms of the ones that are already out or have been out for quite some time and are kind of difficult to get now. But there are some anime records that you can get right now. And some of them are actually pretty cool. One of which is My Hero Academia. So Heroes Rising, the movie just came out on Blu-ray recently. I just saw it as well. This is a movie where I like the soundtrack way more than I like the movie. The movie, it's, I have some things to say about it. And anyway, they made a couple of pressings for the soundtrack for this movie, which again, the soundtrack is a pretty killer soundtrack. I really like it. Rightstuf has an exclusive one. It's translucent green and translucent orange. In the images here, it might look opaque, but the translucent records look really, really cool. Yeah, it might look better in real life than it does in these images here. Funimation had a really, really cool one that I'm still waiting on by the way. Yeah, but anyway, that one, it sold out quite a bit ago. So unfortunately, can't get your hands on that one. But the standard release, the images here don't do it justice. I actually took some video of it and everything, and I'll put that here so you can get a better picture of it. And again, that's one you can find it in multiple places. Check your local record store too. That's where I picked up mine. Yeah, it's an awesome splatter. But yeah, My Hero Academia, you have Cowboy Bebop is getting a number of variants. I did a video on the Cowboy Bebop records when they just got announced, like back in August. I'm going to be doing an update video for that because since then they've released a number of different variants. Newbury Comics one is probably still available now. Hopefully we don't get any surprises for new ones. Or maybe hopefully we do. I don't know, depending on how you feel about it, being a collector and all. So Cowboy Bebop, Attack on Titan. You can actually get that one right now as well. There's a deluxe edition. That's, I believe it's Rightstuf exclusive. Yeah, don't quote me on that. I'm not particularly crazy about what the deluxe edition, like the brown marble that they have with it. I'm not crazy, but if you like that, if that's your thing, by all means, freaking go for it. I'm actually getting the F.Y.E exclusive one because it's red and it looks like blood. And I think that's very, very like, it goes with the series very well. Yeah, delays keep on happening. So some of these are up for pre-order. They've been delaying and delaying. Be patient. If you pre-order them, just wait. You'll get them. Don't worry. So yeah, but Attack on Titan, again, season 4 hype much. This is a season 1, soundtrack, but still, get prepped for that, man. Promare, also a movie where the soundtrack is pretty heavily like in your face with that one. They've got a clear pressing for that limited edition, clear one. So that's really cool. And with Promare, that wraps up this video. So please let me know what you think of any of these records, if you want them in your collection or if you have a collection at all. If you're interested at all in starting to get into this hobby and everything, because if you respect the anime and you respect the soundtrack to that anime, respect the record. It's an awesome hobby. It's really cool. It's good stuff. If you're interested at all into getting into all this, please let me know. I'll answer any questions that you have for it. And to all of you collectors out there, happy hunting. And I'll see you in my next videos. Thank you.